just need to introduce yourself so people can know you.
Okay, hi, my name is Desiree Nanuses. I am the Acting Chief Curator and Collections Curator for the National Art Gallery of Namibia.
Okay, so we have the What's Your Story, you guys have the What's Your Story campaign that's happening. Just tell us about what hashtag What's Your Story?
Oh, wow.
Just
Yes.
in a few words.
Yes, the initiative for hashtag What's Your Story came about when we initially went into lockdown in March, 15th of March 2020. And this happened when it was a state of emergency, and we had the week before just opened our Reflect exhibition. And this Reflect exhibition, without people actually have had time to see it, the gallery was obviously closed down because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and we had to put this exhibition, our first ever exhibition that went online, onto our website. And during lockdown, obviously, we tried to think of how can we now, in this time that people are unable to access these spaces where artists sell their artworks to make a livelihood, how can we come to help our artists? What measures can we put in place that will facilitate a process of still continued sales amidst a pandemic, for example? And by the time we came back into office, we immediately started engagements with our stakeholders, and this is where we figured out, okay, we realized that the University of Namibia wants to turn into a fine art school. We realized that some of the artists, they are unable to create works of their optimal capacity because sometimes it's limitation of resources. And then all of these, when we just came to know that one of our exhibitions, the landscape, also deals with issues of housing, how our artists have a lack of housing, medical aid amidst the pandemic was a challenge. So we tried to look at all of these items and decided what can we do as the National Art Gallery that can help the artists in this time moving forward, just not for this time. And we came up with the initiative of What's Your Story? Can artists tell their stories amidst COVID? What happened to them? What they went through? And then this artwork that they will create, we wanted to be a part of their making process. So obviously the key thing was we wanted to provide art material, because if an artist is not making money, how are they gonna then be able to, create an artwork for us for the exhibition? And so we decided we're gonna give art material. The National Arts Council availed $150,000. We gave each and every artist $2,000. We literally split it. It went a bit over because our number of artists, the 82 that we're working with, is a bit high. So we added from our money to give each and every participating artist in this project $2,000 just for their pocket. They could do whatever they wanted with that. They didn't have to go buy art material. And then the art material that we bought, we obviously gave. We are still in the process of disseminating. Next week it's going to be going out to the regions, and then we're going to document how this artist creates. So the documentation is very important for us, because we want people to know how Namibians create, what they create for, because I believe Africans have always created with purpose and intent, and this is what we want to highlight as part of this project, that we don't create only for livelihood, no, but we would create with purpose. I mean, if there was a headdress made, it was with purpose. If there was an ohole cup made, it was with purpose, with function, with intent. And so to capture these making processes and to have the artists tell their own story about themselves, not Desiree telling the artist's story, but that the artist has an opportunity to put himself out there, to say, this is who I am. I'm putting a face to my name, so that this process that I engage in to create this work is aided by this thinking, by this. So that is what we wanted to do, and I really hope that this helps the artists. Part of the initiatives to help the artists get online was to even have a discussion during the Heritage Week about positioning yourself on social media, so that artists can start creating for themselves, Instagram pages, Facebook pages, because now we have these exhibitions online, but we want to connect these exhibitions and this artist and the work to their Facebook page. The exhibition is no longer accessible in the space, but we want to create a platform for a continued selling that can take place. So if you go into the past exhibitions and you click, for example, on Desiree's work, it should be able to take you to my artist page that can help continue my sales online, for example. Those are the types of initiatives that we will try to come up with, so that artists can really, even if there's a pandemic, still have a way that they can create an income.
Ooh, thank you. We have about 9 people tuning in, so thank you. Just the process to, you guys have 82 artists.
Yeah.
What was the process to collecting 82 people from all corners of Namibia?
That was actually very stressful. We put out the call. I'm not sure if the call was really that well received the first time around. The first deadline was the 31st of July, and I think I had about 23 artists that had submitted. So I went to my CEO. I said, I honestly, I don't think we can work with just 23. We want to reach the whole of Namibia. She said, extend the call. We went onto radio. We put it into the newspapers. We said we want artists. We put it all on our social media, on our website. All the paperwork is on there for artists anywhere in Namibia. If you can, we literally put it like this: if you can create with your hands, then we want you, because then you are a visual artist that is creating a visual image, whether you are painting, whether you are a welder, whether you are someone who's carving, a sculptor, we want you. And then that's how I guess we received over 93 entries. So from the 93 entries, we had to make sure that we established a relationship with the artist. So it did a lot of phone calls. I've been speaking to a number of artists, so we had a lot of phone calls to see, is what you're gonna do what we need? Will you be able to execute what the aim or the initiative is aiming for? And then we ended up with, there are obviously some people who tried to participate who, my daughter paints better than you. So it's the National Art Gallery. So there's some artists that we couldn't work with. But then the artists that we did choose, and we didn't want to eliminate anyone just on the grounds of, no, we don't know you either, but we made sure that the artists that we are working with, that they are able to develop their practice, that they're able to develop what they are creating and their breadth and their scope, not be limited with resource or a space to work, for example. That's why we are offering the gallery spaces as workshop spaces. Our gallery house is a workshop space that artists can utilize, and the JMax studios are a workshop space that we are offering them, so that if they want to work in large scale, they have big enough area that they can work. If they need a big wall, most of our artists, I work in my bedroom, so it's to get out of that, because now I would work on a small object because I'm in my bedroom. But if I have a bigger space where I can work, then I can at least pull out my full potential. And those were the conversations we were having with these artists in order to decide, no, then we want to work with you. And then that's how we decided on the 82 artists.
Okay, what is the effect would like or hope for the campaign to have on the Namibian art industry as a whole?
Wow. Okay, I think I would want our visual artists to be, so that I would want the rest of Namibia / the world basically to see what Namibians can create. I remember while I was studying and while I was abroad, I took catalogs from here, example, but I would sit on Google and I would want to write and put our Namibian artists in discourse with the world artists, and I wouldn't find information online. Hence, I think the pandemic somehow just facilitated this process, that it could happen in a much artists and their information and their work available online. But then our artists are very cognizant of what is happening in the world, what is happening around them. For example, the subject matter that has been suggested as material that they will be working with on this project is things like the Black Lives Matter. Very pertinent to us here, pertinent to the rest of the world. It is things like, for example, not only the pandemic, but the whole economic system, the disparities that exist, the inequalities between classes, the political situations that each and every country is currently finding themselves in. So the artists their creativity is their way of communicating, is their tool of communication, and they are not people who are in their little island, oh, I'm just in my bubble. No, they are expressing through the works they will be creating what they want to say about this, and this information is what I want our Namibian artists to position themselves in discourse with the rest of the world, basically to say, this is what we have to say about this, that is what you have to say. Oh, I actually agree with that country, and that country is in conflict with us, but then we know that is what it is. But it is for this project to position our artists not only in a Namibian scale but on an international platform. For me, that is important, because what they're saying is important and they are contributing to this global discourse.
You are working in the Namibian art industry. What is your take on it currently? As to we know you have the campaign,
Yeah.
but in general, what is your take on the visual arts industry in Namibia? Where would you like to see it?
I think the visual arts industry in Namibia is still very small. It's still becoming developed. We are in a process now, obviously, where a lot of institutions and the people within institutions are dealing with subject matter pertaining to decolonizing the mind, the buildings that we have inherited from our colonizers, and the adaptation of the white cube that we are still perpetuating, and how to re-represent our artists. The state that we are in is a transformative. We are in a transitioning stage to where we are going to say, no, Namibians, this is what we stand for. This is what we're going to do. And I think that narrative is what we need to be taking to places like the Venice Biennale, for example. So I have vision like that for where our Namibian artists need to be going and what type of discourse they need to be participating. We are good. Currently, we are very much intact and aware of our national identity, but it is making a statement as in, okay, no, fine. We know printmaking is predominantly a Namibian subject matter technique that is dealt with. Then let's make sure that we use that. We take that and we write the books about printmaking that need to be written so that people see, no, these people have explored this medium. These people are masters in this. You know, that is, I think, the place where I would like to see it go. Currently, we see individual artists and they are popping up here and there, but we would like to see that the Namibian nation says our visual arts means this, and this is where we are going with this, and this is what we're going to do with this, and to have that voice become a part of the rest of the world's dialogue. So that is where I would want to see us go, actually.
Okay, I think just a lot of artists are asking, is there going to be similar initiatives like this? Are you guys looking into giving us opportunities? Because say we didn't, we were missing out on action when you guys were doing this application process. So what can we look forward to?
Can I humbly say that I'm very good at our curating work and not so much in the communications sphere.
Yeah.
And maybe reaching the number of artists has been the challenge with this. But I think this has been the highest number of participants we've had over the years for any of our exhibitions thus far. I mean, not even a triennale, if I could put it like that. So having said that, I still maintain that the moment we put out the call, people didn't know what it would mean, and people didn't know what it could mean. But the new practice, this practice of giving art material, not the honorariums, that came obviously from the Arts Council, that they gave them money, and we said we're not going to use that money, we're just going to give it to the artists, you know. But the practice of making sure that we don't want to limit an artist's creativity, we want them to create in their full capacity and breadth and scope. So making sure that they have visual material that they can create with. This is becoming a new practice for the NAG, and so each and every project that we will initiate, we will be providing material for this artist to create with. So obviously we will want to work with people who are excellent craftsmanship in their skill, who know what they want to produce, who will come and say, no, this is where I'm going, that's why I need this, and that then it's easy to go and say, let's do this, you know what I mean? So for me, that's how I see this, and I actually appreciate that this was from my top management, that this was a decision that was taken to make sure that each and every project that we initiate, we will be making sure that artists are not limited to what they bring on based on what they have, but that we are going to make sure that whatever they want to create, that we are part of that process that they are creating, because I think that's where the gallery, the artist, that curator artist relationship is developed. That's where you know this artist, I need to check back on this artist again, I need to be in this artist studio after that last project, what have they been working on? So because then that's the way that we are also developing our artists in their own studios, in their spaces, to make sure that, and to show them, like right now, that's part of the practice that we're doing. We've brought many artists into this library space here where we actually show them, have you seen this work by who? So that they are just kind of informed, so that they are able to open up even in their thinking. When we see they are working in that sort of a medium, we show them other artists globally that are working in the same, so that they can think with and against if need be, so that they're just opening up their minds about what is happening in the rest of the world so that they can create with that in mind. We're not saying we want them to create like them, we're saying that they can create knowing that this else is also in the world. So and I think that those types of things need to be happening more. There needs to be more of a interaction between the gallery, not only final works that come in here, but through that process, so that we know, because this is happening, this artist will be able to speak on this for us as the gallery, for us as the Namibian nation. This is the artist we need to send for this project over there, you know. That's when we'll be able to figure that out.
In case you're just tuning in, we are live with the hashtag What's Your Story campaign with Desiree. Unfortunately, we're about to leave because she has given us everything regarding the campaign. It's just, what can we expect on the exhibition day when these artists come and showcase what they've done for the campaign? What do you think we can expect?
Okay, well, number one, I think it's a physical exhibition that we are working towards in the Nagan. Additionally to that, it's an online exhibition as well. By this time, we can be looking forward to public art in Windhoek and Namibia, which is an absolute first time ever being done, and I think I look forward to that. I'm so excited for that, because artists are saying things like, I have this. There's these three men. They are from the Wuda marble, but they are German, they are Heriru, and they are Nama, you know, and they said, we have this rock, position it for us anywhere in Independence Avenue, and we want to just go and create. And I mean, for me, I see that as a monument in the making. It will be a contemporary voice of the genocidal lineage choosing to work together on one work and what that will stand for. So we are in a time when we don't know where things are going and what they could become. But I look forward to that, because that will be the defining moment for us. Yeah. When an artist that is a jewelry maker, for example, decides that they're going to create a life-size mask of beads. Yeah. That is a new, we're looking at masks all around when you look at African art. That will be a new mask that is coming about made of beadwork, you know. I look forward to that. There's an artist that works in wires, and he wants to create, he usually creates animals. But then we suggested, why don't you create something like the sanitizer? Work, go, increase your scale. I'm currently trying to make sure that we can get some of these works displayed in the malls, because he created wire works. We get another artist, wrap it up in textile, and we're gonna have this large scale sanitizer in your mall, you know. So this is new visual work that you can walk around town, look forward to seeing. Never mind the exhibition, never mind what's gonna be happening online. I'm excited because I think there's quite a bit that our artists have to say, and with this platform, we want to push them to say as much as possible. I mean, there's a young lady, she's very much part of this Black Lives Matter thing, and you know, like how as Christians and Namibian African countries and Christianity, we run to the church in search of solution. This school is wanting to work on a work by the Christuskirche to create it's a woman identity of Namibian. So she said it like this: maybe a Nama top, or Odolela dress, you know, like a Himba headdress. So it's the Namibian lady who's literally fighting COVID with her sword, and like how, and that whole metaphor for choosing to present it by the Christuskirche and then having it outside, right outside there on the floor, having this aerial view shot of that. I look forward to all of that, because I gives it goosebumps, because I feel like, yes, they want to say, they are thinking this, they have a feeling that this can change that, and we as people can also fight COVID. We as people, we can also do this. It's that power, it's that taking back that power and saying, no, we're not going to allow and just sit back and things to happen to us. We are saying this about that, and that's what I look forward to. So I hope you look forward to the same.
Yeah, okay, Desiree, thank you for tuning in. We will save this live, and you can go back and just listen to what Desiree has to say. I think she touched on some important topics, and yeah, bye, we're finishing now.